everybody, and welcome to our show here on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. It's Jim, it's Amadeus, and we got a World Series, my friend. I'm not so sure many people thought it was the World Series that they had envisioned, but it's who we got, and that's Texas and of course the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hello, folks. We got two teams that one has won one, and one has never won one. So there you go.
Yeah, it was a crazy night. I know definitely neither one of us had the Diamondbacks in the World Series. And, everybody thought
Nope.
when the Houston Astros went out, it was like, oh, okay, so we're not getting the same as last year. We're not going to have a
Mhm.
repeat. Well, MLB just said, no, we're not having any returning teams this year.
Right.
The Diamondbacks are taking it. And yeah, they're going to be playing the Rangers, which I think I would still lean to the Rangers to win this World Series. But hey, credit to the Diamondbacks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the always overlook and underlook type situation. Um, I, you know, I have to favor the Rangers personally because the talent on that team just is really good. I mean, they're a talented team. Now that being said, you could argue that that it's been a really good, this is a really talented young, uh, Arizona team that we talked about the Orioles being maybe a year or so early to the party, and maybe this is the case for the Diamondbacks. That doesn't mean they can't win for darn sure, but it just means that this is a talented young team that might be overperforming.
Yeah, definitely. This year was the come up for the Diamondbacks for sure.
Hmm.
I know we didn't expect them to go this far as they
Right,
have, and they very well could win the World Series.
they
But yeah,
could.
I'm with you. I think even if they lose, this is a team that's only going to get better. They're
Yeah.
very young. They've traded for a lot of young pieces too. They have a
Hmm.
solid manager with Tori Lovulo there, and yeah, I think that this is going to be a team to watch going forward for sure.
And I think the other thing that we got to pay attention to is that um, Texas again, they're not, they haven't won a World Series, but that all being said, we know Bruce Bochy has, and we know that he surrounded himself on that team with a couple, two, three guys who have been there and they know what it's like. And I think that uh, also gives you an edge. I mean, they're not going to play again until Sunday. Everybody's going to start, getting back to normal rotation situations. So you're going to see matchups, and it'll be interesting to see how. I mean, again, this team from Arizona has just surprised a lot of people. It's got a good young pitching, and I think that's where we're going to see the rubber meet the road here because Texas, even though they are injured and even though they've got some banged up pitchers, no doubt about that. I don't. They've got guys who have had history, and I don't know that also doesn't help.
Yeah, I actually think Bruce Bochy is going to be the key factor in this series for the Rangers because
Hmm.
on paper, it's very apparent that the Diamondbacks actually have the better starting rotation with Merrill Kelly and Zach Allen leading the charge. Obviously, Nathan Eovaldi has really stepped up, and he has that playoff experience that you were talking about. So he's going to be a solid starter for this
Hmm.
this Rangers crew. But I think overall, the starting rotation and the pitching is actually a bit better on the Diamondbacks. So I think Bruce Bochy is going to be key in how he uses this bullpen, and that's going to be a big factor on if the Rangers win this World Series.
Well, there you go. A couple quick headlines, and that is James Harden is going not going to play. He's back with the 76ers, so he doesn't get charged the amount of money that he would lose. I think it was like 300. This is almost embarrassing to say it. It's like $360,000 a week. Um, that if he had not reported Philadelphia, he would not have received it. But that being said, he's not going to travel with the team to face Milwaukee. And now that was okay. Who, you know, why did why did that happen, right? And it turns out that the coaches, he hadn't really practiced much, so they were concerned that, you know, taking him to Milwaukee and not playing him would not be a good idea, or playing him would be a worse idea. So one of the two of those reasons is keeping James Harden uh, off the Sixers starting lineup, at least for a little while.
Yeah, I gotta say, James Harden is really he's really trying to make a strong case for himself as the biggest joke in the NBA.
He's getting there.
Yeah, like we've had a few these last few years, but he's really trying
Yeah,
to make a case. This like he wants to be what on his fourth team in the last 2 years now. Trade me away again. He's just a ridiculous player at this point. He's the total opposite of the guy he was just playing with. You know, Kevin Durant is the complete opposite in the sense where he wants to play even when he gets injured. You know, he's doing whatever he can to make sure he goes out there and plays on the court. And you know, James Harden is just the complete opposite. It's a disappointment to watch.
it is. It's just not, it's not fun. You're getting there going, here's a guy, and let's just, be honest. James Harden has got talent. If he wants to play ball, he can ball in it with anybody. But it's just that wacky situation of what goes on. Uh,
He's just never happy. Everywhere he
no.
goes, he's never happy. And you could trade him away. He'll be happy for the first 6 months, whatever team he gets to. And then again in like the off season, he'll be doing the same thing. I need a new team. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
To put me someplace that, that I need help. 49ers story out of the Sacramento Bee, which and the San Jose Mercury, owned by the same people, so that's probably why I had the same story. Is talking about the fact that Nick Bosa is in a bit of a sack drought, but their hope is they're going to get some help for the D line. So again, we talked yesterday that we're about a week out now from the trade deadline. So the Niners are, I guess, putting out some feelers to get themselves, bulked up on the D line, or some sort of help for Nick Bosa.
Yeah, I think not even just for Nick Bosa. I think beefing up that defensive line is a great idea.
Hmm.
Just because we've seen the way they've been ran over in their last few games, that run defense is not holding up well right now. And I think
Hmm.
anything to plug those holes up will definitely be a plus for the 49ers.
If you are a fan of the Cleveland Browns or considering betting on them, you should note that Deshaun Watson will not be starting this week. He will not be available, and that means that PJ Walker is going to get the start for the Cleveland Browns this weekend.
What is going on with Deshaun? Like
I don't
this
know.
guy's got the biggest contract in NFL history, and now you're actually healthy. All the distractions are behind you, and what now you can't play? Like really?
I don't know. I mean, it's weird, but he's not going to be there. Ready or not, as we take another headline, ready or not, the next generation of the U.S. women's national stars are here. So the women's national team has a new bunch of stars. They're young, they're talented, and they're ready to take that next step. Do you agree or disagree on that one?
Well, I mean, we'll have to see it first. They obviously didn't
Right.
perform well at the last Women's World Cup.
World Cup, yes.
Yeah, they had a lot of young players on that team.
Yep.
So they did get the experience from that, but we'll see. We'll just have
Hmm.
to wait and see how they do in actual competitive competitions.
All right. We're back at the NBA for some quick looks. We're going to look at the schedule for tonight. We're going to touch on some topics. First, chief among them, The Lakers have to be feeling a little deja vu again because they opened the season last night against the Nuggets and they got whacked.
Yeah, they opened their season in the same way that they ended it last year. They got swept 4-0 by the Nuggets in the playoffs, and sure enough, they head to Denver and they lose another game. I think what was it, by double digits almost.
Yep.
Yeah, so just another dominant performance by the Nuggets at home, and just reestablishing themselves as we're still the best team in the NBA. Come get us.
There you go. Tonight's basketball games: the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets. That game will be played in Charlotte at the Spectrum Center. You got the Washington Wizards, kind of a dark horse, just saying, uh, to challenge Miami in the South. They are in Indianapolis, where they'll be at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse playing the Pacers tonight. The game, 7 o'clock on ESPN, is going to be the Celtics and the Knicks. Now, this is not the Rangers. I'm sorry, not the Yankees and the Mets. It's the Celtics and the Knicks. And to be honest, that rivalry hasn't been there since the whenever, I guess it would be the 1980s, 90s when Patrick Ewing was playing for the Knicks and Larry Bird was on the Celtics. That's at the Garden tonight, and that game is on ESPN. The Rockets are in Orlando at Amway Center to play the Magic. That's a 7 o'clock tip. Cavaliers are being hosted, at the Barclays Center by the Nets. That game, a 7:30 start, and Detroit Pistons at the Miami Heat. That's going to be played at Kensei Center, is what they're calling that place now in Miami. Used to be the American Airlines Arena, so I guess that one is by the boards. Um, Scotiabank Arena, some place you're familiar with. Minnesota Timberwolves are in town to play.
Not really, Jim.
Okay, fair enough.
The last time I actually went there to watch a game, it was called a different.
I'm
a
sure it
different
was.
name.
Well, it seems like Scotiabank puts their name on everything in Canada these days.
Yeah, well, I miss when it was the Air Canada Center. It was
Yeah,
just
that
it
was
was a
kind of
lot
cool.
easy. It was a lot easier to say the ACC. That's what it was known as. And
Right.
same in this. It's very iconic. Same
Yeah.
in the sense as Heinz Field. Like nobody's
Yeah.
calling it SBA. Okay, it's just the Scotiabank Arena, and I'm pretty sure there's another Canadian team out west that plays at Scotiabank Place.
I
And it's
thought
a
that.
hockey team as
Yeah.
well.
I thought at one point in time, I know at one point in time, that Ottawa's arena was Scotiabank.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's multiple Scotia banks. We should have just left the ACC alone. Not happy about it, Jim.
Are they? Are there? I guess the key is: are there ATMs there? I don't know. I
Yeah,
do
but
know that. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it's funny. It's all about generation. Like me and my friend, the
Hmm.
same friend who's still calling Heinz Field.
Right.
We'll tell you don't call it the Scotiabank Arena. It's still the
Hmm.
ACC. But if you talk to somebody in an older generation, like my mom's age, she'll tell you
Hmm.
it's still the Garden. So
That hadn't been around for a while. I can tell you that. But yeah, it's wild. I know that there's a lot of those. In Baltimore, the M&T Bank, stadium where the Ravens play has had that's about the fifth naming on that, and the locals just call it now the Russell Street Coliseum, which I think is kind of funny.
the place
From
where the Ravens play.
Yeah, that is. Now, one thing that hasn't changed is United Center in Chicago. That's where the Bulls are hosting, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Memphis at the FedEx Forum, and that has been the FedEx Forum for a while. It's the New Orleans Pelicans and the Memphis Grizzlies. That game is an 8 o'clock game, by the way. That Bulls game was also an 8 o'clock game. 9 o'clock is going to be Sacramento. They're in Utah to face the Utah Jazz. This week's name, the Delta Center in Utah. The late game on ESPN is the Mavericks and the Spurs. That's got to be a fun opportunity to see the number one draft choice suited up there. 9:30 tonight on ESPN. That game's going to be played in San Antonio at the Frost Bank Center. A lot of banks here this week. Now, dun dun dun, 10:30, Portland at the LA Clippers, playing them not what we call it. They call it the Crypto Arena in Los Angeles. Not what we call it, but that's okay. Whatever the
Crypto
Clips,
Dome.
the Crypto Dome, people, come on, get with it. So that's your NBA schedule tonight. Some openers there.
We gotta write a letter to crypto.com. I'm sure
Yeah,
they would be open because crypto.com stadium or whatever it is, crypto.com arena, that's a stupid name.
yeah,
And the crypto dome is badass. I'm
it
sure
is.
they would be open to that change.
As long as they don't pay us in crypto currency, that would be okay with me. I'm not so sure I want to. Who was it? OBJ. He left. What was it? He signed with the Rams, right? He signed a contract. They signed him. I think it was like I don't know. It was a short. It was a 1 year, thing that paid him like a $500,000 to come to play there, and he ended up saying he wanted it all in crypto. And it turned out that that contract at the end of the contract was worth about $30,000.
Oh
So,
wow.
what is a $500,000 today in crypto world can be gone in a minute. So we'll see about that. And if you're
I'll come play for you for a year, but I want to be paid in Dogecoin.
right there, you go. It's like just give me your Vimeo account. That's what we'll do. But yeah, it's wild, totally wild.
You're gonna
Okay,
pay me in MasterCard gift cards. All
right.
right. Load them
Even
up.
Amazon for that.
Activate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll even take Amazon. But there we are. That's our NBA schedule for tonight. We do have some Wednesday night college football. Jacksonville State at Florida International. That game 7 o'clock kick on CBSN. Jordan Kent and Robert Turbin on the call, and then UTEP at Sam Houston. That's an 8 o'clock game on ESPN The Deuce. Clay Matwick on the play-by-play, and Aaron Murray on the call there. So that's what you got. Um, what happened? I guess they're not playing. I was hoping that we'd get some action in here, but I don't see any action this week, and maybe later in the season. I don't know, but
Yeah, I think the MAC games start in November,
oh,
so we'll,
okay.
we'll have some midweek
So
MAC
next
games.
week we'll get some action. All right.
Yeah, but I guess they weren't doing it in October, so the Sun Belt and the Conference USA were like, "Hey, nobody wants to watch us. Let's put them on the week."
Put them on. Yeah.
And for that, I thank you, Conference USA, because it gives me something to watch during.
Well, in fairness to Conference USA, you're right. I mean, it gives them a chance to get some national exposure when, on Saturday they probably wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, on a Tuesday night, it's kind of a lull.
Yeah.
There is some baseball on, but even then, they've been having their games earlier, so
Hmm.
perfect. Wednesday, Tuesday night, you got a football game on late. You can watch
There you
that.
go. And you got on. I was looking for Friday. I thought the Pack has had some Friday night games on, but
I was gonna say they dogged us again on Friday.
yeah.
Jim. They gave us this like FAU and Charlotte is the only game.
No, Brown is playing Penn in the
Oh,
Ivies,
it's my
so
baby.
don't slight Brown and Penn. Um, there is something. It's going to be interesting if this happens. Okay, there's a lawsuit that's making its way through court that is going to say that all D1 schools and um, will have to pay athletes, a stipend of some sort. So in essence, they will become members of the university. In other words, paid university members. At which point, um, Brown and Penn being in the Ivies do not give scholarships. you get an academic scholarship and you can play sports, but you don't get a sports scholarship. They don't have them. There's a move afoot to push the Ivies into doing that. If you know, with the endowment amount of money, excuse me, with the endowment money that the Ivy League schools have, they could be the SEC if that's what they wanted to do. I mean, there would not be there wouldn't be a player or a college on the planet that could keep up with the money that the Ivies could raise if that would be the case. If they were being forced to be in that game, they could either go D3, which I doubt that they'd want to do, or they can go all in, which a lot of them have wanted for years for them to do that. I mean, you've got endowment funds that could probably buy some of the conferences that we have out here. So, without question, that would be, is it on the radar? Yes. Is it going to happen anytime soon? Probably not. But it could happen in the next 5 or 10 years. So we'll keep an eye on it.
You
From
thought the
that
Pac
standpoint.
Mountain West was crazy? Just wait for the SEC Ivy.
But exactly. I mean, if I'm the SEC, I'm going. You know what? It's nice to have Harvard and Yale on my side. Penn, Brown, those are all good. You
Not just
know,
the bank accounts. Nice to have them on the schedule too.
oh, 100%. From that standpoint, I wrote a thing not that long ago about the possibility that the ACC, if Florida State and Clemson were to, go somewhere, that they could go the route of the being what in essence would be the Power Five Ivy League style conference because of the quality of the education of the teams that are in that conference. So, and then of course I was totally debunked by a bunch of football mad folks who said they're who's gonna be who's gonna want to watch those games, and I just bring up the point that there's so much money and so much you know alumni participation that the ratings wouldn't be bad, but more importantly, the ad revenue would be so ridiculous you couldn't not pay attention to them. So we'll see. You're actually going to see one of those teams, Pitt, on next week. So we'll get a report after an after action report when you show up to see FSU and Pitt play each other.
Yes, that'll be an exciting game. We'll see what happens. Maybe
At,
this is
at
the one Florida State stumbles in.
Could be, and Heinz Field is where you're going to be. I don't care what they call it; it's always going to be Heinz Field.
My presence is going to make all the difference, Jim.
It could
Florida,
be.
Florida
It could be.
State loses outright to Pitt.
I remember Bill Hillgrove, great guy, really really quality guy. Bill is the voice of the University of Pittsburgh football and some basketball, and also the voice of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and has been the voice of both of those teams for, I want to say, almost all the way back to Terry Bradshaw, from that standpoint. And it has been. Remember when they started calling, from the 20 on in the red zone? Well, when it came out that was going to be what it's called in Pittsburgh on the radio broadcasts, it automatically became the Heinz Red Zone because ketchup, right? It's got to be red. So when they changed the name of the stadium from Heinz Field to Accenture, the that group, Hillgrove was quick to point out, regardless of what the name of the stadium is, anytime the Steelers get in the red zone, it is the Heinz red zone. It has not changed. It will not change. That Heinz red zone is going to be just like it was as always. So there you go.
Hey, Acrisure can they can say what they want, but you own the rights to name the building, not the red zone.
This is true. This is 100% true. There's a. I know that I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but there's a game this weekend that I think might just be one of the most entertaining games, or with the potential of an upset here, and that's Oregon and Utah. Now we'll get into it deeper, down the line, but I Oregon coming to Utah fascinates me because do you think Oregon has the kind of running game it's going to take to to give Utah a problem?
Yeah, I think that's a very good point to bring up because obviously we've seen this Utah defense and it was a
Mm-hmm.
very impressive win last week. But yeah, they can stop the run. That's for sure, and they're not afraid to run it down your throat either. So
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be a very interesting game in the altitude, and I agree with you. I think maybe Oregon's going to be on upset alert here.
Yeah, they should be. um, I know. Look, Utah fans were totally geeked out by beating SC at Coliseum last week. Look, Utah fans, I love you, okay? But guys and gals, um, Utah exposed SC for what SC is. They have no defense, so I wouldn't get too cocky about how well you played against an SC team. Granted, the offense looked a whole lot better, but we lament Oregon's defense here, a little bit, but Oregon's defense is a whole lot better than SC's defense, and Oregon is not afraid to play on the road. So there's that. I had a friend of mine tell me that and he's been doing college football for almost 41 years. He said that, and he did the game, the Oregon Washington game, uh, you know, up in Seattle, and he said that and he's done it, games all over the country, and he told me that that was the loudest he'd heard a crowd, in a stadium in probably 5 or 6 years. So as I said, Oregon is not immune to or have problems with the noise level. The noise level will not be an issue with them. But I'm concerned that Oregon's running game against Utah might not be up to par. But we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. The offense is going to have their struggles, but Utah is going to struggle on offense too because,
Yeah, I don't.
as
There's
you
no question
said,
about it.
this ain't the USC defense they're going against. So
Yeah. And what's the under on that? Do I don't mean to hit you with a
yeah,
quick,
just
you know,
give me 2 seconds and I
yeah.
can pull it up right here. I got the sports book right in front of me.
Mhm.
Usually the Oregon totals have actually been like in the 60s
Yeah, because they've been
for the
scoring
last few
tons of
weeks.
points. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's 48. That should tell you all you need to know.
48 would have been just Oregon in a couple of games, this season so far. So yeah, that's pretty wild. That is totally crazy.
And you know what? I
Um,
tend to agree. I think it'll probably be a more defensive battle.
yeah, it's going to be fun, that's for sure. Um, so it's Wednesday, and that usually means some decent soccer. Anything you want to throw our way this today that we might or should be watching?
Yeah, we got some Champions League today.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not sure what to bet on, you can go get my picks because I won my total of the month yesterday with the over in Arsenal Sevilla. Did lose the Union Berlin and Napoli over, but I'm on a 9-4-2 run in Champions League. We got lots. We got a nice slate today. There's a big Newcastle versus Dortmund match. That'll be a good one to watch. Probably the marquee match of the day is PSG versus my AC Milan. PSG, they just got dismantled by Newcastle 4-1 in their last
Mm-hmm.
Champions League match, so they're going to be looking to bounce back. I actually have a free play on PSG. I love my AC Milan, but their attack has been bad. They've scored one goal in their last 3 games. They do have a very good defense, but that's my issue with them here. I think they probably come in a little more defensive, try to steal a point from PSG. PSG is just going to be pissed off after losing to Newcastle, and they're at home here. I think they're going to score some goals, and I think they could beat AC Milan in this one. But yeah, definitely those two matchups are ones to watch for sure.
Okay. By the way, if you do want to watch the PSG Milan game, it starts at 3 o'clock and it's on Paramount Plus. So that game is on, and you know, I let me goodbye phone to call. Um, the Newcastle United is playing Dortmund. That's all the games today from the Champions League are on Paramount Plus. So if you're a Paramount Plus subscriber, then you're going to have an opportunity to see it. Now you're talking about PSG and Milan. Is Mbappe gonna play?
Yes, he should be playing in this game. He played on the weekend for PSG, so
Yeah.
I don't see why he wouldn't. But yeah, they have a very strong lineup between him, the Portuguese wonder kid Gonzalo Ramos. They also
Mm-hmm.
picked up Colomwani from Frankfurt last year. So and then obviously Mbappe's French teammates play beside him, Ousmane Dembele. So they have a lot of talent on the
Mm-hmm.
attacking front for sure. And they started the league off a little slow with all the distractions going on with Mbappe, but they've definitely hit their stride lately. And really,
Mm-hmm.
that one loss to Newcastle a few weeks ago in Champions League was really their only blemish on the schedule in the last few weeks. So I
Mm-hmm.
think they're going to be looking for 3 points in Champions League today.
You had mentioned to me before because I was unfamiliar with it, so I'm gonna be stupid again. 3 o'clock. Manchester City is playing the Young Boys.
Yes, Young Boys, nice Swiss club there. They pretty much dominate the Swiss league year
Mm-hmm.
in and year out. Every now and then you'll get the odd team, like I think St. Gallen won it a few years ago, and Zurich also got
Mm-hmm.
up there. But really, Young Boys has been the dominant squad for the last few years.
Wow. Okay. Good to know. I was curious on that aspect. We got some MLS soccer tonight. The Red Bull takes on Charlotte. That's a 7:30 game on MLS Pass on Apple TV. Same place to watch. 9:30, the second part of that doubleheader. Sporting Kansas City at San Jose Earthquake, and so that's your um soccer for the MLS tonight. And there you go on that one. And I assume wait, that is that the playoffs or they haven't started the playoffs yet?
Yeah, so those are the playoffs. Actually,
Okay,
I think
that's what I
they're.
thought, but I wanted to ask.
Is it the playoffs or is it like the play in?
It might be the play-in. Let me look real quick.
Because Charlotte looks like a team that would have been like ninth or eighth, and the way my book has it listed is USA MLS playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is like the playoffs to get into the playoffs because I know they have that 8-9 spot like in
Yeah,
the MLS.
according to this, and I'm on the MLS site right now. Uh, it's the East-West wildcard games.
Okay, yeah, so
So
it's the play in or
it's the
playoff
play-in.
or
They don't
whatever
like to
you
call
want to
it.
call it.
Yeah, nobody wants to call it what it is, which is the play-in game. But that's what it is. So we can only say what it is, and that's what it is.
So
Um,
I'm guessing the winners of the East game will play Cincinnati, and the winner of the West game,
yep.
LAFC, I guess.
Yeah, the top team in the league. They've got
Actually, no, LAFC is playing Vancouver.
hmm. What's this
Who
here?
is
Yeah, you're talking about Red Bulls. Red Bulls are excellent at controlling the game by turning them into, into axe fights. Virtually nobody has been acceptable to go up against Red Bull New York this year and play their game because their game is a bunch of thugs. Okay, well, certainly, we're definitely getting some some colorful content from the website of the actual league. So anyway,
Oh, I do have it here. So that yeah, the winner of the Eastern game will play. So I guess that's Red Bull Charlotte. They will play
mm,
Cincinnati, and the winner of the West, St. Louis.
It says that Charlotte is not entirely helpless in a knife fight. Which, oof, things are getting gross. It went under the radar that there's something of a presence of the team themselves that's a little edgy. So I'm not. This sounds more like an MMA fight than it does an MLS soccer game. But you
Call
know,
it an all-out scrap here.
yeah, that's basically the. It's like the gang. Two gangs are getting together. So we'll see. But yeah, they're giving Red Bull a lot of credit for this one. I'm not so sure that's right. These are the 8-9 games, by the way. San Jose's trip to Children's Mercy Park. So so that means that they're in Kansas City, I guess. And it's an even bigger mismatch than it sounds on paper. Whoa, man, these guys are just ruthless. Um, it's basically they're saying that I guess they're not sure why San Jose got on the plane. I guess to fly over there, not giving them much of a chance to be sure.
I see what they're saying. San Jose has been awful away from home, but
Hmm.
to give that kind of respect to a team like Kansas City, they're awful. They're absolute trash, and they're even more lucky that they got into a playoff spot than San Jose. Absolutely ridiculous.
They haven't won a game in Kansas City since August 19th, 2015.
What is that, San Jose?
San Jose hasn't won
Yeah,
a
well,
game in
San Jose's been
Kansas City.
trash for years. This year they were actually decent.
17 trips to Kansas, all of them no mas. They didn't win.
Kansas City has also been a lot better in the past. Like
True.
this is one of their worst seasons in years. They are not a good team.
I'll tell you, I used to like that stadium in San Jose. It really was a cool place to go. They play in the University of San Jose State's field, and Spartan Stadium is what it's called. And well, they probably have a name now with some sort of you know some sort of sponsor that's on it. But anyway, definitely a cool place to play. You're right; they haven't been good, but it's been a nice place to go watch soccer. So, but Kansas City, I guess, is getting a lot of love here tonight. What's the? Is there a line on this game?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me just. It's not under MLS. It's under a completely different
Of
bracket.
course, yeah, that would
MLS playoffs.
right.
Even though when you click on the normal MLS tab, it's the actual playoffs on Saturday that they're
Right.
showing.
Uh,
But anyway, yeah, we got so the Red Bulls are about a minus 134 against Charlotte. They'll probably win that game. Charlotte, yeah, so plus 280 for the draw, plus 375 for Charlotte. Kansas City minus 120 for the
huh.
draw, plus 300 for San Jose. So they think the odds of San Jose winning are the same as them drawing.
Huh.
But remember, this one, if it draws, it doesn't end in a draw.
I
So
was
there
gonna
has
say
to be a winner here. So they're
somebody's
taking
got to
extra
win this
time.
one. It's
Yeah.
we said the same thing as Philly and Arizona last night, and Arizona won. So, and by the
Those
way,
lines are for 90 minutes.
yeah, we just basically said, would like to thank both teams for not playing well into the night, so that we had a result by the time we got to the show today. So, so we'd like the same thing to happen tonight in the soccer. So we'll go from there. But that's pretty wild. That is totally a wild situation. All right, let's see. I think we're good. I think there's not much more that we have here that we can cover. It's all been said. So let's make sure people know that all they have to do is go down below. You don't even have to. If you go down below and click on the on Amadeus's links, you can still watch the show and buy the links, buy the information from Amadeus, and make your place your bets and not ever leave us. So feel free to do that. But Amadeus tell people where, for whatever reason, if they can't navigate down to the bottom of the page, where they might be able to get you.
Yeah, you can get my premium picks at bigowl.com, pickadvisor.com, and theinsidersroom.com. As you said, the links are in the description below. Go check it out. I got Champions League for today. You got 12 minutes before those matches start. Like I
Hmm.
said, won my total of the month yesterday. Now I got my game of the month today, as well as 3 other plays. So go check that out. And I'm on a 9-4-2 Champions League run. And, opened up the NBA season last night with a win on the Phoenix Suns. So go check out
There
my
you go.
two NBA plays for tonight. And I also have one college football as well. We cashed New Mexico State yesterday. Now 5-1 since Diego Pavia peed on the New Mexico logo. So yeah, make sure you check out those premium picks.
Yes, all about the urine. Okay, good to hear.
Yes.
But so, guys, just in case you don't understand what we're saying here, all you have to do is hit the more button down there below, and it leads to a whole list of stuff. And so, by all means, be sure to check it out and to excuse me, partake of the wisdom of Mr. Amadeus. It would be wise to do so. Any final thoughts here, boss, before we move on this afternoon?
Oh well, I'll borrow a line from a good old friend of the show, Rye Cape, and let's cash some tickets.
There you go. There you go. And if you tell you what, if wait a minute, I think Rye must have heard you. Foxy is here, real quick. He has got something.
Good to see you, Foxy. He's getting ready to watch his team in 10 minutes. Another big Champions League match.
Who's Foxy's team?
The Newcastle. They're
Oh, that's
playing
right, Newcastle
Dortmund
United.
today. They smashed PSG in their last Champions League
Wow.
match. I know he's worried about that bum Sandro Tonali not being there, but you know what I say? That's what you get for leaving AC Milan. Now you're injured. But Newcastle's got a ton of depth.
Well, there you go. Foxy, are you on Newcastle today? I guess he hasn't decided yet. Oh, maybe he already has. But if you haven't
Well,
decided
he's got
about,
he's got the black and white there in his message, so I
oh, I
think
see
those
it. Yeah,
I think
you're
that's
right.
those are his Newcastle stripes
That's
showing.
you're right. You're right. I didn't realize that he's got that little icon there that we should have picked up on. So there you go. There you go. So Foxy's got Newcastle today. Foxy probably gonna cash in, and then we'll get to see. I was just gonna say you could tweet your receipts at at Amadeus and then show him a little love in that regard. So that would be fun to see the receipts that you have cashed in. So the fruits of his labor do not go unappreciated. We don't want to see that happen. All right, guys, have a great day, and we will be back tomorrow. Wait a minute, he's got something here he wants to share. Cash my first bet of the day, Barca to win and over 2.5, but they were awful. So also lucky with Man United by winning. Okay, good for you. So he did cash some tickets. So not on Barca, but he did came through with Manchester United yesterday. Okay, very cool. Good for you, Foxy. All right, buddy. We will see you tomorrow. Let me get this out of the way, and y'all have a nice day. And Amadeus and I will be back tomorrow. We've got some Thursday night football. It's Buffalo. It's Tampa Bay, and it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing shakes out for both of these teams. It's hard to say that at this point in the season that it's a must win, but pretty damn close to a must win for both those teams. So we shall see what we shall see. There are some people, we'll get into it more tomorrow, who are saying Buffalo may not even make the playoffs this year. I wouldn't go that far, but it's certainly possible. We shall see. All right, until tomorrow, everybody, have a lovely day. Don't forget to go and check out in the show box below all of Amadeus's links and be sure to partake. It's be wise choice on your part. Okay, a good investment, as we say. Okay, everybody, have a great day. See you tomorrow.